Hey guys, welcome to MSL Season 3, Round of 16, a match between Nalra and ForGG on Blue Storm. And Blue Storm, I've really enjoyed the matches I've seen on this map thus far. A lot of proxy rushes. I saw a fantastic game earlier between Hueson and Bisu. Hueson coming out on top in that matchup. Go check that out. It's a dual commentary Moltrap night. It should be coming out fairly quickly. That was just a really fun matchup. It's a kind of a smaller map, not a ton of expansion options. So it ends. I think it kind of creates more battles quickly, and if you end up with large forces fighting one another, I think those battles are a little more interesting than they would be on other kind of wide area maps like, I don't know, Python or Loki 2. Though I have a special place in my heart for Loki 2, I really enjoy that map, specifically when Protoss is involved. Speaking of Protoss, Nalra in the bottom left-hand corner, it looks like he's going to send out an early probe. I'm not sure if he's going to scout with that, he's going to put that first pylon at that kind of offset position. That I'm not sure why he's putting it at that offset position. He might be putting that down there because he's going to go for an early expansion, or he might be putting it down to kind of create a nice little barrier of blockade that looks like what ForGG, aka Never, is doing. He's in yellow in the upper right-hand corner. ForGG, this is going to be a tough match for him. He's really terrible against Protoss players. I think his record, let me look it up real fast. He is 9-15 versus Protoss players. And he just does. I'm not sure what miscues for him. I haven't seen him play a ton. He's one of the newer players. He's been around about as long as Kanata. Kanata, though, kind of, I think he's getting more in the area of established players, entering that arena of like, you're not new anymore, so you better do something worthwhile, otherwise people are going to forget about you arena. Nalra is in fact going for that early expand. We'll see how. I'm not sure how late this scout is going to be out for ForGG, because it's going to take a while with that blockaded door. My guess is what ForGG's plan here is just to block his front door, get that refinery down, get siege tech, and then take his expansion, and then kind of go from there, go into a kind of a 4-factory build, where Nalra looks like he is probably going to go for a fast tech build. That's probably going to turn out more advantageous for Nalra. I really feel like when two players early expand, one Protoss, one Terran, the Protoss gets a significant advantage when he early expands, just because it gives him a lot more options, especially if he denies the scout, which is difficult on this map. It's very difficult to deny the scout on this map, which is why I was very surprised by Bisu beat Hueson amazingly. Sorry for that spoiler there if you haven't seen it, but it's a fantastic match. You should watch it anyway. Looks like, ForGG is going to come up, that probe blocking the door there for Nalra, and ForGG wasn't paying attention. Looks like he was just kind of move commanding that Marine. Nalra out in the field, attacking with a couple of these probes, trying to keep those Marines back, because, again, he has a lot of probes out in the field, just kind of trying to delay ForGG, because he does not have a Zealot out yet. It looks like he's producing a Zealot right now, and those Marines might be able to pick off a probe or two. That's very intelligent, sending them out, trying to kind of do a harassment here to make sure that ForGG doesn't kind of get in his base and do as much damage as he would have been able to otherwise. He has a Zealot out now, so now he can just kind of let the probes do what they will. ForGG was trying to kind of blockade with that SCV. He's getting kicked back. He's going that factory. Looks like he's going for a dual factory build. So I take it back. It doesn't look like he's going to go early siege check and go for that early expand. This is probably a reaction to that early expand of ForGG. And interestingly enough, it looks like Nalra is sealing up his front door. I'm not sure why he's doing that versus a Terran. That might be a more effective strategy against a Zerg or Protoss. Against a Terran, it really doesn't make sense. That just that might protect against a little bit of the Vulture attack, which I think is what he's kind of expecting right now. Which is it's a very viable attack for ForGG, but really once he lifts that, kind of an advantage for ForGG right now, because he's denying the scout to Nalra. Nalra, in the meantime, has already shown his hand. He sees ForGG knows that expansion's up. He knows the two gateways are down. There goes that first Vulture. And we'll see how effective that first Vulture is at harassing that secondary, because that secondary is wide open of Nalra's. He has, it looks like, a single Zealot out there. He's going to be able to take this probe incoming, which really doesn't affect things one way or the other. It doesn't look like that cybernetics core is upgrading. So I would expect Nalra to very quickly tech up and go in his front base. That's actually probably why he did do that blockade, is so he can, in his main base, build that technology, and ForGG is not really going to be able to see it. He has True Dragoons to fight off that Vulture in the meantime. Looks like he is kind of building behind there. He's got that robotics facility going up. So he's going to go an early drop. Now the question is what is he going to go with that early drop? Is he going to kind of do a Bisu type thing and go for an early observer, so the mines aren't as effective? Looks like ForGG in the meantime is going to go out and take that expansion. Doesn't look like he has a SCV going in position to build that command center, but he is producing a good amount of vultures. He has that tank out. Siege tank is probably going right here. It looks like he's going to not go with mines as early. That vulture's not speed upgraded, so my guess is ForGG is going to immediately go for siege tech here and go from there. And once he feels he can secure that secondary, drop the secondary. Nalra in the meantime using those dragoons to draw those forces out of position, sneaking a zealot behind in the meantime, but really 2 dragoons and 1 zealot can't take out 2 marines, 3 vultures, and 2 tanks. So he's going to lose that vulture, or sorry, he's going to lose that marine, going to lose that zealot right there. ForGG has lifted off that front. Looks like he's researching whatever he's researching right there. I'm going to assume that it's siege tech, and it looks like ForGG might be pushing up for an attack here. Nalra not looking very panicked here, looking very confident, looking very calm, looking very collected. But he has 2 tanks, 2 marines, and a couple vultures here. That could be a sizable attack force this early in the game. I wish they would show the action right now instead of kind of doing this close-up on Nalra's head. Those 4 vultures out, looks like he did in fact research mines, but that we'll see if Nalra kind of already went the observer through that robotics facility. It doesn't look like he has that secondary building down. Yeah, he has got observers. He is going for the robotics facility now, so those mines aren't going to be terribly useful. Looks like he's loading up Dragoon and 2 zealots, and that should be very effective, yeah, against that siege tank. Although, when you kind of do an attack like this, really you want some zealots or something to back it up, because just a single dropship can easily be taken out if you're not very fast about it. But those drawing those mines up to the tank, managed to get 1 mine to go off on the tank, so that's a severe amount of damage on that tank. That's in the meantime, ForGG kind of moving up, and he's going to shell that secondary. Nalra's in a bit of trouble here. Wow! Somehow managed to drop those dragoons down, take out the mines, and basically attack everything out of that position, while ForGG has that single tank up there, bringing up those dragoons in position. He's able to take that tank out. Another tank up there. Looks like he had an observer out, that's why he was able to do very quickly shift that battle in his favor, producing a lot of forces basically to fight off this kind of small frontal attack force of ForGG. ForGG in the meantime kind of laying mines out just to kind of slow Nalra down. I believe those mines are kind of ineffective at this point until later game. We'll see what Nalra does from here. If he just goes, if he kind of dedicates with his Reavers, and really a late expansion by ForGG, and that could cost him in the long run if Nalra gets that robotics facility producing several Reavers very quickly. ForGG, if he ends up losing any amount of SCVs, that's going to have a much larger impact without that secondary up much faster, and that's kind of a miscue on ForGG. He has a lot of vultures produced here. He's going to try to take that secondary down. He's trying to kind of force in an early attack, but it doesn't look like he's being very successful with that early attack. Nalra doing a brilliant pincer maneuver here, has a Reaver out. He managed to drop that Reaver in position. Wow, all those 4 Dragoons went down. That was very good micro by ForGG, but ForGG loses that tank, and really he's going to try to bring those vultures around to get an attack on the main, and it looks like that's where that blocked. Wow, very good. Yeah, Nalra blocking his main off. That's where it counted there, because you could see as ForGG was kind of come around with those vultures, he was going to try to get in the main, try to do some damage there, and force ForGG to bring his dropship kind of further back. Now ForGG though finally has a secondary up, realizes that there's Reavers incoming. He's going to spot it with these mines. I don't know if Nalra knows those mines are out in the area. I'm going to assume not. He has an observer out. He's going to chase down that barracks. If he can take that barracks down, basically keep ForGG from producing any more factories for the moment. Looks like ForGG, however, yeah, he already got those 2, very quickly got those 2 factories down. ForGG kind of placing a little bit in place. And now Nalra manages to get a drop with his robotics facility down. He manages to take out a couple SCVs. He's doing a decent amount of damage, and ForGG's forced to lift that command center up. A siege tank in position now to kind of push those Reavers out of position, and ForGG way behind economically now. Usually they're economically behind without the second expansion versus a dual expansion protoss in general, but that's been up for a very long time now. That siege tank goes down, and SCV's getting blown up. That's another 2 SCVs. Nalra being very successful with this Reaver attack. ForGG in kind of a bad situation here. It doesn't look like he staggered his supply depots out. More SCVs going down. If Nalra really felt like taking an attack on the supply, I think that would also be an effective attack here. And ForGG doesn't have really any sort of air defense up. He's kind of defending